Hi dancers! I received a request from a student looking for some pointers in strength and stretching to improve her tilt. So I decided to make this video to show you a couple different stretches you can do and some techniques and exercises that can help you achieve your fullest potential. So one of the most important things to keep in mind is to have a properly warmed up body to do any kind of dance training, any kind of strength training, things like that. So once your muscles are warm and you're ready to go, you can implement some of these deeper stretches into your routine. So some of them I'm going to show you, you don't need any equipment, and some of them, if you have them around, they can help you out. So that would be a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, something like that, and a foam roller. So, first thing, two most important muscle groups to have warmed up, stretched, and just really be working and focusing on those if you do want to improve your tilt are your hamstrings and your hip flexors. So, hip flexor stretch, one of the most basic ones is just different lunges, right? You can do true runner's lunge, you can drop the knee down, and for a deeper one, you can put the elbows down on the floor as well. Yeah, holding this stretch, sitting in here, breathing through it, feeling yourself lengthening through all of these stretches will really help you. Yeah, make sure you do both sides so you're nice and even. Another great thing about lunge stretching is that it really incorporates a lot of the body involved in it as you're actively stretching. If you're just kind of like sitting in it, it's not going to do anything, but you want to be thinking about that heel driving straight out, that knee really stretched, back is long, core is engaged, yeah? All these deep stretches. You should feel the stretch right in the front of your hip, really like where your leg connects to your torso. And again, all the way down. After you've done your lunges on both sides, you can go ahead and do your side lunges, yeah? Making sure that you're supporting your standing leg, this one, so that it doesn't hurt your knee, yeah? And make sure switch to both sides. Obviously, the longer that you hold these, the deeper the stretch you're going to achieve, but you want to make sure that you're not holding it to the point where you're going to hurt yourself, right? Work smarter, not harder. Okay, so those are some basic hip flexor things. Your hip flexors also, I should have said this before, they're right here, right? There's that groove, and you can kind of feel it if you dig your thumbs in. You can feel your hip flexors, especially if they're tight. Mine are very tight, so I can feel them. Okay, hamstrings are our other muscle group that we want to focus on. Your hamstrings are the ones that are underneath your thighs, right? The bottom ones here from your glute down to about your knee, right? Those are your hamstrings. So basic hamstring stretch, just a pike stretch, forward with flexed or pointed feet, holding this, again, breathing through it. You don't want to just like a stagnant stretch where you're just like not really doing anything. That's not going to benefit you a lot. You want to think actively stretching. Every time you exhale, try to go a little further, breathing through it. Yeah, that's a good hamstring stretch. And also, downward dog is an excellent hamstring stretch. Again, you want your core engaged here. You don't want to get anything all like loose and crazy. Core engaged, tailbone up. You can also do one leg. This will help get hamstrings, back, and hip flexors. Other leg, and you can do that top foot. I know you can't see it in this video, but you can have that top foot pointed or flexed, or a little bit of both going through it. And then obviously you can have your hands and your feet closer together. A nice hamstring stretch here. You'll really feel this all along the backs of the legs, stretching down, again, breathing through it, getting all that good stuff in. Okay, so those are the basic ones that you can do without any equipment or anything. If you have a tennis ball, a racquetball, lacrosse ball, anything like that, you want it to be a little bit firm, but not too crazy. There can be a little bit of squish to it. You can roll out your hip flexors if they're especially tight with a small ball, yeah? There's a couple different ways you can kind of put it there and just kind of move around. You'll feel it getting to work there. And even though this is in the front, it also connects in the back, so you can put it underneath like this and get around in the sides. Find those insertion points, just kind of move around. It'll feel a little funky, but this will really help, get everything loosened up so that you can get your fullest extensions, yeah? So that's some stuff you can do there. And our foam roller one, you can also do this one without a foam roller. You can just do it flat on the ground, but you'll just get a deeper stretch if you do have one. So you're gonna want it to be, I'm gonna be out of the frame a little bit. You're gonna want it to be right under your tailbone, right? It's like right about there. And then you just relax down. Pick one knee in, pull it in towards your chest, and feel this leg, the opposite leg, lengthening forward, and you'll feel a nice stretch there. You can open this thigh too, get a little bit more of a deeper stretch. And again, make sure you do both sides. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, now we're gonna do some exercises and combinations that will help you, really strengthen your extension and achieve better flexibility. All right, so now I'm gonna show you some heel stretch and, développé extension exercises to help you out here. You can do these barefoot, with shoes, with socks, whatever, it's up to you. Again, like I said before, make sure you're nice and warm before you do any of this, because if you're thinking about the order of dance class, we don't usually get to développés or adagio or anything like that until pretty far into class, so we're pretty warm by that point. So make sure you're properly warmed up before trying any of this. All right, first thing we're gonna do, développé to passe, hold, 3, 4, grab the heel, 6, 7, 8, extend forward, 2, 3, 4, open, 6, 7, 8, lean forward, 2, 3, 4, and up, 6, 7, 8, let go and leave it, and tilt, and down. 7, 8, we go passe, and grab the heel, extend and plie to the front, straighten and open side, turn it in, tilt, up, let go and hold, and tilt, and down again. 1, 2, and grab, and extend, and open, tilt it in, up, let go, tilt it in. I'm going to switch to the other side. 1, 2, grab, front, open, turn it in, up, let go, and tilt, again, 1, 2, grab, and extend, open, turn it in, let go and hold, turn it in, and finish. Something else to keep in mind when you're doing your heel stretch. If you're stretching to the side and you feel like you can't go anymore, and you feel like you're stuck and you're trying to lift up and you can't get it there, think about bending your elbow, yeah? If you think about bending your elbow, it's gonna bring your leg closer to you, and that's gonna help you get it a little bit higher, yeah? Okay, let's do, I'm gonna show on this side. Basic développés are something else that are gonna really help you for this. Slow ones and fast ones. So we're gonna do both of them so you can kind of see the difference and see why they're both beneficial. So we'll start to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, and fast, and fast. Same thing to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, fast. Ooh, I'm falling. And fast. Yeah? so that it can loosen the hip flexor as it goes. Sometimes if we're doing the slow ones, our hip flexors start to grip, and that can make it more difficult to do a tilt. But if we think about a battement développé, really releasing it, that can help our body know it's time to release and that it's okay to do that. 6, 7, 8. Slow. 2, 3, 4. And fast. And fast. To the side, you can tilt it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fast. Ooh, I'm going there. Fast. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Release. Stop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Release. Finish. Something else to keep in mind when you're doing tilts. I mean, this is different depending on the technique you're doing, the way the choreographer wants it, the way your teacher says to do. But in most cases, when you tilt, you're not straight up and down like in a ballet position per se, right? You're not like in a grand battement to the side with your tailbone down and everything lifted. Most cases, you're opening your hips and you're sticking your bum out a little bit. You need to let that happen, right? Give that release in the low back so that it can achieve its fullest extension. If it doesn't, it's gonna get stuck, right? Like, unless you have some kind of crazy hips, which some people do, it's not gonna go all the way if you're trying to keep yourself completely square. You can open that up a little bit, yeah? Open it up. Okay, one more that you can do in a door frame of your house. Now this works best if you have a door frame that does not actually have a door attached to it, you know, just like kind of like an entryway. But if you don't have one like that, just be careful that, you know, you don't crush your toes or your fingers or something in the door where it's kind of open. Okay, so what we're gonna do is you're gonna, depending on how flexible you are, your heel will either be, the goal is to get the standing leg heel up against the wall completely, but it's okay if you have a little bit of space to start out. We're gonna développé, don't kick the thermostat, up, find your penché, yeah, and then gradually scooch that heel back and try to get that leg straight, yeah? Now, that one's for your penché, but you can also do it in your tilt position, yeah? Again, you can have that bum sticking out. You know, it doesn't have to be completely square. Let it stick out, let the hips give, let the low back give a little bit so you can find that extension there. And make sure you do both sides. And of course, one of the most beneficial things that can help you achieve any kind of flexibility is your splits. Front, side, all of them. There's a little bit of controversy with over splits, and I know every teacher kind of has their own opinion on it, and I think that over splits are okay to an extent, right? I'm not gonna say that it's a good idea to, you know, put your leg up on a chair and then have your back leg on the floor. Really the safest height to do it at is yoga block, yeah? 2 yoga blocks max, and that's really gonna help you. And you can do that when your leg is to the front. You can have it on the yoga blocks in front of you, or you can do it in your straddle split to work on that tilt. You can have one leg up on the yoga blocks or both legs up on the yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, hardcover books work just fine, or softcover books, you know. Yeah, so I think that's all for this video. Let me know if this was helpful, and if you have any requests to do any other videos like this, just send me a message and I'll see what I can do. Thank you. Bye-bye.